and it felt like I was learning to fly. But I fear I'll never know the feeling. It must be nice to just be heard, and it might sound a bit absurd. I'd sing along with the birds. I'd sing along if I only knew the words. I'd sing along with the birds if I only knew the words. Staring into the wishing well got you feeling a particular way. You can't stand to see your own reflection. So toss a penny and close your eyes and try to think of something to say. And don't waste your wishes on perfection. It must be nice to just be heard, and it might sound a bit absurd. I'd sing along with the birds. I'd sing along if I only knew the words. I'd sing along with the birds if I only knew the words. I'd master every verse until my spirit learned to burst into the morning sun, while my heart is on the run. till you miss them. It must be nice to just be heard. It might sound a bit absurd. I'd sing along with the birds. I'd sing along if I only knew the words. I'd sing along with the birds if I only knew the words. I ain't slept in 7 days, haven't eaten 3. Methamphetamine has got a damn good hold of me. My tweaker friends have got me to the point of no return. I just took the lighter to the bowl and watched it burn. This life of sin has got me in. Well, it's got me back in prison once again. I used my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie. Well, if I would have listened to what Mom and Papa said, I wouldn't be locked up in prison, troubled in the head. But I took that little poppy and sucked into my mind was fun. I got 20 years to sit and think of what I've done. This life of sin has got me in, but it's got me back in prison once again. I used my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie. Jailhouse blues have got me singing this old song. My life is a disaster, Lord, and I feel so ashamed. In here where they call me by a number, not a name. This life of sin has got me in. Well, it's got me back in prison once again. I used my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie. Methamphetamine has got a damn good hold of me. My tweaker friends have got me to the point of no return. I just took the lighter to the bulb and watched it burn. This life of sin has got me in. Well, it's got me back in prison once again. I used my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie. I used my only phone
great joy of doing with Willie Nelson. I was telling you we went on that Outlaw tour before, and after we got home from that, I just came home with this little ditty in my head. I thought, man, I can't even record this if I don't do it with Willie, so I sent it over to him and said, Willie, you want to do this tune? And the response was a resounding hell yes, so I'm so grateful. It was awesome, so awesome to be here, and looking forward to seeing the old bird play again tonight. Anyhow, this one's called California Sober. Well, I used to like to ramble with my good time friends and neighbors. Now I find I'd rather lie awake in bed. I don't get to acting mean when I keep my buzzers clean and keep the hard stuff in the liquor from my head. Well, I guess that's just the trouble when you're always seeing double and the lines are getting twice as hard to see. I've had years I don't recall, but I'm told I had a ball, at least somebody did, who looked a lot like me. So I'm California sober, as they say, and lately I can't find no other way. I can't stay out and party like I did back in the day, so I'm California sober, as they say.
Darkness and defeat. Another day without relief leaves me broken. Curtains falling all around, echoes up from underground, screaming out without a sound, leaves me breathless. It's a dark time, I do believe. A cold winds are blowing at my door. Incredible light I'm gonna find, or I don't have to worry anymore. Feast for eyes deprived of peace, internal pressure, no release, an eternal mind disease, never ending, paralyzed and drowned in thought, all the things that I have lost. My salvation can't be bought, drains me empty. It's a dark time, I do believe. A cold winds are blowing at my door. Incredible light I'm gonna find, where I don't have to worry anymore. rolling up my sleeve. I remember it's a dark time, I do believe. A cold winds are blowing at my door. Incredible light I'm gonna find, or I don't have to worry anymore. It's a dark time, I do believe. A cold winds are blowing at my door. Incredible light I'm gonna find, or I don't have to worry anymore. Remember the time we were both eye to eye, and we both knew the reasons why. Seemed like we'd face the world on our own. Before we collide, can we just take a moment collecting reflections of this, and remember the path that we chose? Spring light to us this year again. Can't stand to face the fear again. You could always laugh about those things. It's enough to make a man feel sour, burning minutes every day by the hour, just to end up gone like everything else. Let go of the pain and hold on to the rhythms consciously held back in
can't seem to work this out, but we can still pretend. These tattered walls and burning bridges quickly start to fall. How long until there's nothing left at all? I've been to California, man, I've seen them city lights. Been stranded in the desert, scorching days and freezing nights. I'll never understand why people try to walk so tall. How long until there's nothing left at all?
Don't you love what you got used to, where we used to feel so free? Won't you wait a while in silence, love?
Watch it fall. Well, the old man said the great big apple's rotten to the core. Wall Street's skimming from the till while no one minds the store. And how could someone get so low in a building so damn tall? How long until there's nothing left at all? Now chunks the size of Delaware are falling off the poles. Our heads are buried in the sand, our leaders dug the hole. Like junkies hooked on fossil fuel and heading for withdrawal. How long until there's nothing left at all?
Don't you love what you got used to,
Where we used to feel so free.
won't you wait a while in silence, love?
Watch it fall with me. It boils up from underground and leads us to the past, to a place that's long forgotten when we had enough for all. How long until there's nothing left at all? Growing empty now, just to leave all the sand. Thank you, folks. Thank you, fellas. Well, hello there. falling down. Can't you hear that mournful sound? Nothing left but memories, things I still can't stand to see. There's an empty spot in me where my hometown used to be. This old boat is taking water, won't be long till it goes down. We've had enough to push us over, time to turn the wheel around. Neighborhood left to decay, our people died or walked away. Nowhere left for them to stay, and we just looked the other way. This old boat is taking water, it won't be long till it goes down. We've had enough to push us over, time to turn the wheel around. Lost without a ray of light, going down without a fight. Is there still time to make it right? This old boat is taking water, won't be long till it goes down. We've had enough to push us over, time to turn the wheel around. This old boat is taking water, won't be long till it goes down. We've had enough to push us over, time to turn the wheel around. One of these days I'll wake up tired of the life I'm living and feel inspired to get off my ass, and be on my way. One of these days I'll wake up steady and ready to go like Richard Petty. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life, and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days I'm coming up to it, gonna put my foot right down and do it. It's about damn time.
It's about damn time.
I made a change.
I made a change.
One of these days I'm bound for glory, and that's the moral of this whole story. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days,
one of these days,
I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life, and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days,
one of these days,
I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life, and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days. Left behind all the years I rode, not a nickel can I show, but the river helps to ease my worried mind. Well, the river run all night, Lord, that river runs all day. I can run no more 'cause I'm here to stay. I've had a life of trouble and I live a life of pain. I sit back and let that water heal my brain. I'm letting go of all my trouble. I think I'll be right here to stay. Well, the water keeps churning while my whole heart is burning. Muddy water, take my pain away. See the muddy water flowing down. I'm letting go of all my trouble. I think I'll be right here to stay. Well, the water keeps churning while my whole heart is burning. Muddy water, take my breath away. All right, we're going. shore, but the river helps to ease my worried mind. I'm letting go of all my trouble. I think I'll be right here to stay. Well, the water keeps churning while my heart is burning. Muddy water, take my pain away. Muddy water, take my pain away.